Set up your bench at somewhere between 30 and 45 degrees. This is 30 that I'm working with right now. That's probably my preference, but if you give this a try and it doesn't feel comfortable, just pop it up to 45 degrees. And if you're not sure what angle your bench is on, you don't want to whip out a protractor, just send me a form video. I'll help you tinker it up or down. Once you have your bench set up, make sure that your seat is up if your bench has that option. Grab a very light dumbbell. You're not going to need a lot of weight for this. And put your inside leg with a bent knee down like this so that your knee is pointing a little bit forward like this. You're gonna take your inside arm and just flip it over the bench or just figure out a way to get comfortable. There's no perfect setup here. For me, at my height, this is gonna be really comfortable, but it might be a little bit different for you. Your outside leg, for me, is my right leg here. I'm gonna put it on the floor just behind the bench. You might enjoy it here in front of the bench. You might need to put it here because you're not as tall. Again, it's about figuring out what's comfortable for you. Bend your inside leg so that your ankle's kind of wedged in the bottom of the bench, and then figure out something comfortable to do with this leg. If it's putting this leg like this, or on the floor, or like this, that's totally fine. Take your dumbbell and start with it resting on that inside leg like this. Keep your hips and shoulders facing forward. Keep the palm facing down. Raise up until the arm is straight up like this. You don't need to go over here. This is too much range of motion. You can stop anywhere around here. And then slowly with a straight arm, keeping the palm down, bring that dumbbell till it hits the inside of your thigh, just in front of your hips. Again, you might feel really comfortable exactly how I'm set up here, or you might want to tinker with it a little bit because your bench is a little taller or shorter, or you're taller or you're shorter. The one thing I think is going to be uniform for everyone is having their inside leg bent like this, their shin and ankle wedged in the corner here, so that they can use that inside of their leg as a starting point. If you're a little shorter, you might have this other leg propped up like this, or like this. I've seen a lot of people doing them like this, and that works totally fine. The point is figuring out a setup where you feel stable to do this motion. Actually, this feels pretty good too. Again, if you don't feel comfortable on 30-degree bench, 45 is the same thing. It changes the movement a tiny bit. It's basically the same thing, same setup right here. This might be a little bit easier if you're a little bit shorter. It's gonna be a little bit easier for it to reach the back leg to the floor. This actually does feel nice and stable for me. These are starting to get really hard. Again, you're not gonna need a lot of weight for these. My working weight's probably 15 pounds or so. So just take that into account and don't be surprised if you don't need a lot of weight.